everyone, welcome to the stream. We're just gonna wait a few minutes for some people to get in. Why Santos, thank you for joining the stream. Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and get started. As y'all have saw on my post on Instagram and on YouTube as well, we are going to be drawing Toriel from the game Undertale. Monty, thank you for joining the stream. Really nice to have you in. Also, y'all, a quick audio check. How does my audio sound to y'all? For y'all who don't know, I have been recently working on a series for these live streams that are consistent of each franchise, different variety of characters. This one is Toriel from Undertale. I've been doing an Undertale series recently that covers most of like Undyne, Papyrus. I did Azrael, Dreamurr on the last stream, and now we are doing the Keeper of the Ruins herself. Alrighty, we should be almost done with the rough sketch. And so what I do is I overlayer this. And for those who are just joining in, I really hope y'all are having an amazing day. And what I'm going to do, since the canvas is white, I'm going to do this instead. So I can get a better idea of how the white is going to look. For y'all that don't know the method that I do, what I do is I work on the rough sketch and then I double the layer and put a layer in between between so I can shape the way that I want to blend and shade in the coloring. Y'all are free to try it. It's nothing new, but it's something that has helped me with my art process. Now I can turn this layer off, and now I can work with the blending brush that I use. And this is how I get my mix of different textures, different shading to be smooth or rough in some places. This process works miracles, especially with ones that you want to work on with like realism and better detailed sketches. And I do recommend this process when it comes to shading in hair, especially with highlights and dark places, because it does work with blending and with the other brushes that I use, such as the Dream Brush and the Tattoo Inker, specifically those can go to a fine point really, really easily and really, really well to where they can blend to actually make it look like hair strands. Clover, welcome to the stream. And yes, it is Toriel. Thank you for joining in. But yes, Toriel is from Deltarune and from Undertale. I'm going mainly off of her Undertale design because that was the most considered original design. Y'all that are watching, let me ask you a question. What is your favorite Undertale or Deltarune character? Killer Harris, hello, welcome to the stream. May look messy now, but all you gotta do as an artist is trust the process. It will definitely be worth it. Also, I don't know if I showed y'all, but for reference, this is what I am using. I am using one of the later designs. I don't remember the artist that designed this, but they did an amazing job. And I'm using it as a reference, at least for the color sheet and for the remembering of dynamic. Yellow Beanie, thank you for joining in. Really nice to see you. do apologize about my audio being really low, you guys. I've been having a ton of audio issues that I'm trying to work out. And eventually I will add some music in for you guys. I use Streamlabs for y'all. And that audio is usually pretty finicky. How about now for y'all? Does that sound better? I turned up the audio a little bit more so y'all can hear. I do apologize for the scratching in the background. I will get that fixed later on. Alrighty. I heard it's good, so should be alright. been doing art for quite a while. Roughly ever since I could pick up a pencil. But as far as digital art, I've been doing it maybe 9, 10 years. Yes, I am using the Wacom tablet, which is a Bluetooth tablet to any form of computer and device. Yes, I'm using that. And I usually prefer to draw this way rather than on the screen. The Wacom tablet is really good to use also due to the fact that it can have the sensation of a pencil because of the texture of the tablet itself. So, for those traditional artists that transfer to digital to get better picture, um, better design reference, or anything like that, it is a really good starter tablet for anybody. It actually wasn't that expensive at all. The Wacom tablet is actually pretty cheap, and like I said, it's a really good starter for anybody that wants to that it is a traditional artist that wants to transfer to digital. Um, because it has the tablet to the pen has the same texture and same sound and feel like a piece of paper. Cool Pineapple, thank you for joining the stream. How much have you done so far? I have only gotten to a bits and pieces of the coloring, and a little bit of rendering to the drawing, but it'll come along. And like I said earlier, all you gotta do is trust the process, and then your art will turn out the way you want it. Make it exist, and then improve it later. For any of y'all that are still in the stream, I have a question for y'all. What is your favorite Deltarune or Undertale character, if y'all have one? Silver Eclipse with time, everything will be perfect. That is right. It all takes time and actually putting effort into the stuff that you love. Because the time you put into it will show your dedication to it. Silver Eclipse, you said Sans. Sans is a really good Undertale character. There's a lot of AUs and a lot of stuff about him that people are still questioning. I remember when he won an award for, like, I think best character on Tumblr or something like that. I think it was what, I think it was what, 2018? Okay, I think we're settling pretty well here. I'm gonna start moving on to the purple part of the outfit. And I'm going to match the color here and thicken the brush. Again, gotta constantly tell myself to trust the process, even though it may go all crazy and may not look the best right now, but it'll all be worth it. And this is what the perk is of having a double layer of your rough sketch, because once you can overlay it the color, you'll know exactly where to lay your Other designs that go on top of the clothing, around the clothing, where the eye placement, nose placement is. Any form of any extra details. It's always good to put a double layer if you want to try this method. Yeah, I found Sanzei where this species is reversed, where humans stuck underground and have magic. Oh, I've never heard of that one before. If you don't mind, what was your name again? Sorry, Silver. If you don't mind, Silver, I'd love to hear more about it. If you have any other knowledge of that AU. Because I've never heard of that one before. Now you got me thinking about it. Honestly, I really wonder how that would look with each. Yeah, no, no, I'm just curious. It was a comic dub YouTube video, and the monsters win. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'll definitely have to look that up later. But as I said before, each of these streams is going to be one piece of the collection that I'm going to be adding. And we'll be posting on Instagram, YouTube, Blue Sky, Ko-Fi, and several other platforms that I will have links in the description to as soon as the stream is over. I did not live stream Papyrus and Undyne though, because sadly, those were done before the idea of the project. So, those posts are still up if y'all want to go view them, if y'all haven't already. Paulo Cartoon, welcome in. Really nice to have you in the stream. find the video because it's been a few years now. Well, it might have gotten taken down, but yeah, I'll definitely look at it later if I can find it. I'm actually not hating the sleeve design. I might go darker with the shadow though to actually give it more depth. Prime, welcome in. Lovely to have you on the stream tonight. I've been having random songs stuck in my head all day. It was like a Sans AU fighting, and somehow normal Sans got teleported into the human AU, something like that. The fact that someone came up with it is awesome. Also, for y'all that might be interested, commissions are open. I will be making a post about that later tomorrow on my Instagram and my YouTube. So if y'all are interested in a commission, a redesign, banners, whatever y'all would like, please let me know in the comments below. Plus, reach out to me on the post. Frisk was a tiny goat monster in that AU. Oh, that actually sounds kind of cute. I'd love to see how that looks. Better yet, if you want, I'll draw it sometime. broke. That is fair. Though I will make an announcement to y'all. If we can get my page, either my YouTube up to 100 or my Instagram up to 300 by the end of next month, I will be hosting a draw it in your own style, and I will be giving a prompted photo, and the winners of those can receive free commissions. Yeah, I'd figured it'd be fun. Plus, it also would give myself some practice for other people's designs and their stories for their characters and everything in between. I just think it'd be really fun. Plus, I would love to see how y'all view certain art pieces in your designs. And like I said, you don't have to be good at art if you don't have to be good if you want to try. Ever think about being a VTuber? I've thought about it, honestly, and I have a design for a character if I was ever to do it. I just need to get in touch with the material more. So maybe later down the line, yes, I'll probably have a VTuber character while I draw, but I'm not so sure about that right now. Let me get the right color for the emblem that's on her piece. Because I need to make sure I get that color right so it doesn't blend into the purple because I have to add it on another different layer. And usually by the end of the drawings, these layers are, yes, are all put together, but I'm sitting at usually like what? Uh, Roughly 10 to 20 layers. It all depends on the complexity of the drawing and what I'm wanting to do. Trying to. Because it goes across her entire chest. That's what I'm trying to remember. It goes across her entire chest and then covers part of it, so I just might have to render a little more rather than. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to render that. So I can cut that off. Yeah. It'll all look good in the end. Trust the process. I see. I was about to send you VTuber model maker, but I get it. I mean, it's going pretty well. Yeah, I mean, if you want to send it over, you can send it over. Just I won't be using it as of right now. You can send it to my email, which is in my description on my Instagram and here, or you could just send it in the chat and I can click the link later. It looks like some water spilled on her. Yeah, it does a little bit now that I look at it. But I'm going to lighten the layer so it'll blend into actually looking like a fabric. Plus the background is going to be a little bit darker because I have something. I'm sorry, I need to speak. I have something special planned for the background and surrounding pieces of her design. Nice, yeah. Yep. Constant reminders of trusting the process because right now that is the only thing you can do. Now, as far as the design, I don't remember if it's a heart or not, but well, you know what? Why not? We'll just go with the heart. We'll go with the heart. I'm just gonna add it on a different layer so I can do that later. And here's that thing that I said about multiple layers, because right now we're sitting at layer 12 with all this. Each color has its own layer, each design bit has its own layer, plus the double layout of the main rendered piece, or a main light sketch. Then I can go here. These are the only kind of shortcuts I take because this makes the process a lot easier. Especially when I want simplicity with the design. So the white was a little bit more showy. And then I can go off a top layer of that and then I'll blend it in. Because that's what makes the process so much more fun. Because with this process, now what I can do is I can blend it in to actually mix with the fabric. And the good thing about this is now that it's on a separate layer, I can blend it and shade it as much as I want. And then I can copy the layer, or I can add multiple others to blend it in to make it look better or more visible in a sense. And I can grow it and I can shrink it and I can adjust it around. Plus now I can adjust the fine lines of the white to make it look less patchy. And this is why a not fully used brush is good, because then it also gives that blurred layer all the way through while you're erasing. Plus it adds another shading to lining as well, so it'll make it look so much better. Smash, thank you for joining in. Thank you so much. I love your art style. Thank you. Fausta25 joined. Thank you so much for joining in. One Slap Man, thank you so much for joining in. It's nice to see all fun, familiar faces. Yeah, that's starting to look a lot better. I will add a little bit more shading into it and then fine line it more, but this is turning out a lot better. gotta go sadly, but if you want to talk VTuber more human AU, I can send you my Discord through email. Awesome! Yeah, go ahead and send it. Thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate it. You have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, or night. Alright. And then I forgot she also had those triangles. It was up, down, up. Okay. I don't remember. Wasn't it like a whole prophecy thing again? I wasn't quite sure about all the lore when it came to Undertale and Deltarune. But I absolutely loved the gameplay. So if y'all know what this means, please let me know. I am curious. Now to purify those lines, because I don't remember if are the triangles even curved? I don't know. Well, yeah, we can officially say that we've been on stream for a little over an hour. and dim it down along with the rest, because the light contrast will come in with the background and other pieces I'll be doing with it. So we can finally merge all of these. Now the only thing is this. What level to do it at? I think that is fine. So with this hand here, I know there's a little bit of issue with the lining of the cuff. So let's try and blend that out. Brighten up the layer again, that looks better. And then now I can clean up the edges over here with the shading. For y'all that don't know me, I am also a little bit of a klutz, so if you hear clattering or anything from me, just know it's totally my fault. Okay, now we can see what this looks like. After fully colored, at least for those bits, we can finally see what it looks like on the black, and that looks awesome. I can officially say I'm proud of this piece. At least for what we have so far. Finish up doing a little bit of the cleanup line work here. Add a little bit more shading in regards to the outline piece. And then we will be set to work on the facial features, which is one of the hardest parts. At least in my opinion, when it comes to characters that are not human. For y'all that are in the chat and that are also artists or aspiring artists, what is the hardest thing for y'all to draw? Is it hands, eyes, noses? I know some people have difficulty with noses. But what is it for y'all that is a challenge to draw? Alrighty, I think we're done with the lining. Might have a few more bits over here to clean up. But it'll all be let me speak. It'll all be worth it in the end with the process. Now, for y'all that are in, I have a question for y'all. Do y'all want glasses or no glasses? Because I know there's one point in Undertale she has glasses. And I think that's during the story time when she's reading a story to Frisk. Yeah, that looks good. At least it connects the whole piece together. Alrighty, so we should be able to merge all these pieces together, and now we're going to work on the facial features of Toriel. Now with my rough sketch, I know it's a little bit messy, but we're gonna go for a little bit of a sinister but also motherly look. I guess that's what we're trying to go for. I will probably change this back and so I can get a better idea for what I'm gonna do for the eye. But we're gonna give it a shot here, and if this doesn't work, then we're going to alter to the other idea. And I'm going to blur this a little bit so I can get a better pigmented color for the eyes. Because I don't remember what color her eyes are exactly. Because I want to know, what color are her eyes? Are they green? Are they red? They look like they're a reddish brown. Okay. Alright, because she has like that firepower. That makes a ton more sense. That actually makes a lot more sense. So she has more of a reddish brown. Okay, so that can go on another layer for the eye color. So I'll start with the bases red. Now, once I remove that, I'll brighten this layer. Okay, that actually will look good as soon as I add the lining and everything in between. So I'm going to dim that down one more time. And I'm going to follow along with the eyeline piece that I did beforehand. But I'm going to use my dream brush instead, and I'm going to lighten the opacity. Okay, let's brighten this up one more time and turn down that line. Let's see what that looks like. That doesn't look bad. Now, as far as her second eye, I'm not sure where I'm going to go with that. I might just do the same process. Actually, I might finesse this eye a little bit. Because I know she has like glowing sometime, like it glows. So I want to make sure I get the background dark enough to where it will look like it's illuminating her eye. And she does have darker pupils anyways, so this will work really well. And I don't want to give her an insane eyelash or anything like that, but just enough to still give it the look and appearance of Toriel. I think that might actually look good. If not, then I'll cut off that bottom excess piece of the eye or move it back. Because if I move it back just a little bit, it might make it look better. Brighten it up again. Yeah, that looks a lot better. because then I can blend this out even more. And then I can move this over, and now here is the copy process that I'm trying to do. But I'm going to move it closer so I can adjust it. Okay, I will adjust the iris position, obviously. Okay, and it will be the same shade of red. So move that over here, and then give it the same. No, that's way too big. Because I'm also going to make her eyes glow in this drawing. So, what's a glow without some highlight in her eye? Again, trust the process. And they said they want that dark brown, so add that at the top. And for y'all that are drawing with me, or just sitting here and having a sketch next to y'all, feel free to try this trick, whether digitally or traditionally. It works either way. And for y'all that want to know how to make eyes like this, if we can get over 100 likes on either this, on this one or the next video that I make, I will create a tutorial. No pun intended, but I will make a tutorial on how to draw these somewhat anime eye designs. I don't think her, like, what is it, snout or like her face is too long. So I think shortening it actually might look a little better. actually does look a little bit better. Alrighty, now on to more of the shading for this. Honestly, I'm curious if what if I gave her the locket? Honestly. Why is she lazy-eyed? I'm trying to work on it. But thank you for joining the stream. The hardest thing for me to draw personally is like eyes and like the direction that they're looking. That's always been a one of the bigger struggles for me, especially when it comes to character design. I don't know why I'm giving her something like that. Nope, that's not what I meant. Here we go. Leadherm, thank you for joining the stream. This looks cool. Thank you so much. Again, this is still definitely a work in process. But it'll all be worth it as soon as it's finished. definitely needs work. now at least for the most part the main design is complete. Now I can get rid of this and I can head into the background pieces. So the background piece, what I was thinking is not necessarily her in the ruins, but more of her surrounded by flame, because flame is one of her powers apparently, as far as I know. So I'm going to be using an airbrush to at least get the basis of where I'm going to put the flames, as well as I'm also going to put a flame in her hand and on her other hand as well, with her eyes glowing. The background is going to stay black, but I will also add tiny lines and details for the background of the ruins. So what I had done in order to get this color of a flame, what I have done is that I had taken the layer of the airbrush and I had put it on soft glow. Soft glow is when it will illuminate it and double the intensity of the brush's art and the brush's work. It's really easy to do. The platform that I'm using is Art Sketchbook, which provides a multitude of different brushes. But then the perk of overlaying in the background is that it will illuminate it even more once you highlight it over with either the same brush or the different brush that you use. Again, you can use any brush for it. Linear Glow will do the exact same thing. It just may look different in different brush styles. But I'm also going to copy this flame and I'm going to shrink it down into a mini layer of it, because the mini layer provides a second layer to the flame. And I can always change the opacity of it. And the good thing about it is that if you want to add other highlights of other colors into it, the glow linear will do the exact same thing and intensify each piece that you want to mess with. But you have to be careful because sometimes it can be a little finicky. But here's the thing, if you do draw on the glowing linear bit, it will take a while for it to show up, but that also leads for such amazing effects in the process. You will just have to trust the process, as I always say, and mix it in properly. Yep, and like I said, if you want to add any more of this to your designs, to your pieces, whatever you want to do, just be creative. Do whatever you want to do with it. It's your art piece, it's your work. Now the good thing about this is once you merge them all together, they will slowly start to blend into each other. Now, that can sometimes be a good thing, and it can sometimes be a bad thing. It really depends on how you layer your piece. I is back. How do I find your Gmail? My Gmail will be in my description on YouTube. Plus, it'll also be on my Blue Sky account that is connected to my Instagram. But I can put it in here if that'll make things easier. And then it's never anything too crazy. All you just gotta do is add the highlights that is contrasting the surroundings. And even if you want to make it glow off the character a little bit, that's completely fine. It always adds a little special touch to it. And these are going to be the pillars to the ruins. I can copy that and I can move that over. And then the perk of that is I can copy it again and I can move it over to, oh, no, 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 no. There we go. I can move it over to the other side. You just gotta know what you're working with, and if you don't, it's always good to learn. And then I can copy that over one more time to create a little bit of dimension within each piece. Now, with all these, I can add all these layers together. And in front of that, I can add a airbrush layer. can put that to black. And as it blends into the back, it'll also hide the smaller pieces that would blend in any further. Not watching, but yeah, I can't find your Gmail. Alrighty. Here, I will put it in the chat. Give me one moment. Alrighty, you should be able to see it. Of course, anytime. Alrighty, now the challenge is to add the flame in her hand, because that's going to contrast with a little bit of more of the lighting. 7 minutes to go, and we can say that we've been on stream for 2 hours. To think that this was a 2-hour piece. Which what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. Going to create somewhat of a flame shape that's similar to also the one in the game. And with this I'm going to do the same thing with the soft glow. But behind it I'm going to add a darker layer that will stand out. And as far as the white lined layer, I'm going to make that super, super thin. To make that look like she's harnessing the power a little bit more. Plus, it'll give a light detail as to seeing that it is in her hand and not behind her. Oh, that's pretty close. I'm probably not going to do another flame in front of her, but I am going to do some light shading underneath that. I might not add that. I might darken the areas over here to at least add more emphasis to the flame itself. Plus the darkness in the background will probably add a little bit more finesse to the glow that's going to be around her. Now I can always lighten that up and I can always darken it if need be. I might not keep that. Soft glow, I might. I'm gonna duplicate that, see what it looks like. That actually looks pretty cool. Now in regards to the flame behind it, I might erase that. Because that might look just a little bit better. Yeah, because then that shows more of her. can go over here. In this brush. No, that doesn't look good. I'm gonna zoom in a little more. Alrighty, y'all, I think that's where I'm gonna call it for tonight. Here is the finished piece so far. I will add a few more details later on tonight, and I will post it first thing in the morning. Thank y'all so much for joining my stream. Please support all of my other socials, Ko-Fi, Blue Sky, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. I would really appreciate it. And if y'all want to commission, like I said, I'm going to post a commission post tomorrow. And as far as everything else, I think that's it. Thank y'all so much for joining the stream. I hope y'all have an amazing rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Y'all, practice makes perfect, and it will always improve. Thank y'all so much for joining the stream once more, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Bye, Silver. Bye, Weed. Bye, darling. Bye, Cool Pineapple, and hello and goodbye, Clover.